Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope that you have had your coffee with me. Today we are going in to discuss the Benefit Hoola Contourist palette. I've been using this for a little while. I have mixed feelings about it, and we're going to get into that in just a second. First of all, I just want to say that Benefit is doing here similar things to what it did with the Foroscope palette, which I reviewed the Earth Angel palette for you a little while ago. This is more or less a repackaging of some classics with a couple of additions. So going right into the palette, you're gonna see the classic Hoola and Hoola Light, and then they've added a couple of shades to this called Hoola Caramel and Hoola Toasted. I'm not sure if you can buy those ones individually the way that I know you can buy Hoola and Hoola Light individually. Similarly, in the Earth Angel Foroscope palette, they included for you Hoola right there, which you can buy individually, right? And blush, highlighter, and sort of a shimmery blush, which we discussed this blush here in the shade Honeymoon, you can only buy as part of this palette. So you are incentivized to buy the palette as opposed to accumulating the individual products. So my primary interest in this palette was exploring or revisiting the world of contouring because I kind of moved away from that, getting into those like really dramatic face shaping techniques that I feel are more appropriate for the stage or photography makeup when you really need to have those sharpened features. But I wanted to see if I could create a look that I would be going to on a daily basis using this palette. So my eye makeup and my lips and things are done, but on my face, all I have right now is foundation and powder. So I wanted to go in and contour and bronze it up. So usually when I do this, I have a combination of a couple of brushes. So I've got a really densely packed contouring brush here. This one is by Lorac Cosmetics. And then obviously a more loosely packed fan brush, which is just gonna create less of a dramatic contour. So I thought for purposes of the video, I would go ahead and go in with the densely packed contouring brush first and kind of go at it. Let's pause here and talk about one of my complaints about this palette. Contouring is supposed to be creating shadow on your face, okay? And shadow by definition is going to be the lack of light. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be more on the grayish side, lack of light. All of these things are very golden, which means that there is yellow in them, which means there is warm light in them, which is the antithesis of shadow. So I always feel like when I use warm tones for contouring, I end up with a very sort of muddy result. So that is my caveat before I go in with this. So for starters, since I'm so incredibly fair, I'm gonna go in with this shade here, the Hoola Caramel, and I'm gonna start with this dense brush first and just kind of move in. Now when I contour, I'm gonna do my cheekbone here. And I don't like to just stripe it down my face. I kind of like to push. And I'm gonna leave that for a second. I'm gonna use that same color, and then what I'm gonna do is create a matching contour line here at my temple. So where I like the palette, where I sort of have fun with the palette, is if you want to kind of blend it, layer it, etc., I can grab a lighter brush and maybe some Hoola Light and some regular Hoola there, and I can just kind of use those to blend the same way you would an eyeshadow. You know what I mean? You're going to go over some of those darker shadows with lighter, more blendable shades. You could even have started lighter and then built up. So you've got some options, which is nice. As far as the blendability of these powders goes, I don't really have anything super exciting to say about it. It's they're not bad, they're not the best powders I've ever used either. So just leaving it at that. So that would be about where I would stop with cheek contouring, and you can see I've got a pretty good difference going on in my cheeks there. What I'm gonna do, since this is kind of an all-around bronzing palette, is I'm gonna just take my bronzer brush now, and I'm gonna go in just with Hoola, and above the contour here, where I would usually do like a bronzer and a blush, I'm just gonna add a little bit of Hoola to kind of blur out that harsh line that I had. Do you see how now that's gone? There was that harsh contouring line there. And what I'll also do here is go in with like a highlighter and a blush, but look at that. Now I've contoured this side of my face and sort of bronzed my cheekbone a little bit. And look at how nice that looks. Having had an opportunity to really look at the difference here and see how well that actually blended out, I really feel like I've gotten a good natural contour with this. Again, my preference would be for the actual contour to be slightly cooler to contrast with the bronze that I've added, but overall, a pretty good palette. So I'm just gonna go in and finish this side of my face. I'm just gonna grab the blush out of the Benefit Earth Angel palette, this honeymoon shade here, and I'm just gonna add a little dusting of that to my cheek to sort of pink it up a little bit. And then for highlight, I'm gonna grab something out of the Lorac Luxe Diamond Golden Hour palette. I reviewed these for you guys a while ago too. And I think I wanna keep the look pretty golden, so I'm gonna go in with this Saint-Tropez and just go boom, there's that, and blend that out a little bit. So guys, there you have it. This is the Benefit Hoola Contourist palette. Overall, pretty good. If you already have Hoola powders, if you already have other contouring palettes that you like, I don't think it's worth upgrading to this one. But it's been a long time since I have had a palette of contouring shades. I prefer the Wayne Goss palette that he gave for contour and bronze highlight, which I reviewed for you guys a while ago. I will pop that link up on the screen. I just think the powders in his palette are a little bit higher quality, and they do come in multiple colorways, which is awesome. And I do just think that in addition to the higher quality, he really nails that cooler tone, which makes it a little bit more user-friendly. You don't have to worry about blending to perfection and making sure you don't have a harsh contouring line. So I will link this one below. If you are a loyal Benefit fan, I will also link the Wayne Goss palette below. I think I've got that one off of the Beautylish website. And stay tuned, because Wayne Goss also just dropped a new eyeshadow palette, which I purchased and have been playing around with, and I'm very excited to share that one with you guys coming soon. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your viewership. Click the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.